Hello everyone, friends. Welcome to the Jin Fiction channel, and this is the story. What if Kushina survived and became Naruto's wife in Akatsuki? Enjoy watching, everyone. The rain in Omegakure never ceased. It was cold, heavy, and smelled of rusted iron. Naruto, who had recently turned 18, stood on the edge of a steel beam atop one of the skyscrapers, gazing down at the endless lights of the factory city. His Akatsuki cloak, embroidered with red clouds, was soaked and heavy, but the youth felt no discomfort. Inside him, a fire raged far more potent than any element. His path to the Akatsuki was no mistake. It was a conscious choice after Konoha had betrayed him once again, attempting to seal the Kyuubi even deeper and stripping Naruto of the remnants of his humanity. Itachi had found him in the forest, battered and broken, and offered him not salvation, but a purpose. Naruto. A calm, almost ethereal voice rang out behind him. It was Konan. Pain is waiting for you in lower sector 0. We have a new priority. Naruto leaped down, slicing through the air. Sector 0 was located deep underground, beneath layers of concrete and chakra-suppressing seals. It was where those who were never meant to see the light of day were kept. Passing through long corridors lit by flickering lamps, Naruto felt a strange tingling in his gut. The fox inside him, usually grumbling or dormant, suddenly clawed at the bars of his cage. "This chakra," the fox growled. "Naruto, be careful. This is the scent of blood I haven't felt in 19 years. Pain stood by a massive iron door covered in Funjutsu symbols. "Inside is a woman," the leader of the Akatsuki stated. "She is a former Jinchuriki. Her life force is unique. She lives in defiance of all medical laws. Your task is to sustain her with the Kyuubi's chakra so she does not die before the Gedo Maso is ready." The door creaked open. In the center of the room, on a dais resembling a sacrificial altar, sat a figure. Long, tangled hair the color of clotted blood veiled her face. She was bound by chains that siphoned away her will to live with every passing second. Naruto stepped closer, his sandals thudding dully against the stone floor. When he stopped a pace away from her, the woman slowly lifted her head. Her eyes were gray like the sky over Ame, but deep within her pupils a crimson fire pulsed. Kushina Uzumaki looked at the young shinobi, and within her mind, shattered by years of solitude, something snapped. She did not see a son. Memories of an infant had been erased by pain and darkness. She saw a man who carried the same power she once held. Her mirror image. Her executioner and her god. "Another dog on a leash?" she rasped. Yet her voice, even broken, held a strange power over him. "Come closer, boy. Let me feel your hatred." Naruto knelt before her, ignoring the fox's warning growl. He reached out and gently brushed a lock of red hair from her face. His fingers touched her skin. Cold as marble, yet a feverish heat burned beneath it. "I am no dog," Naruto replied quietly. "I am the one who will decide whether you live or die." Kushina suddenly lunged forward as far as her chains allowed, locking her gaze onto his blue eyes, which now bore slitted vertical pupils. A spark flew between them, not of kinship, but of the elements. Two solitudes, two discarded weapons, meeting in the void. "Then decide," she whispered, her lips curling into a faint, haunting smile. "Make me yours, or kill me right now." Days turned into weeks. Naruto spent more and more time in Kushina's cell. Pain saw this only as the efficient execution of a mission, but the reality was far more complex. Naruto brought her food she refused to take from the guards. He combed her long hair until it gradually regained its former luster. Kushina told him of Uzushio, the land that was no more and the clan that everyone feared and thus destroyed. She deliberately did not speak of Minato nor of the day Naruto was born. She was weaving a new reality for him, one where only the two of them existed. "They fear us, Naruto," she whispered into his ear as he sat beside her, transferring chakra through the touch of their hands. "They locked you in a village like a beast and me here like a battery. Do you feel our powers merging? We are not just shinobi. We are nature itself." Naruto felt it. With every session of chakra transfer, his bond with Kushina strengthened. It wasn't like the bond between a Jinchuriki and a beast, it was something more intimate. Kushina's chakra was soft, enveloping. It soothed the Kyuubi's rage and replaced it with something else. A thirst for possession. One night, while the guards slept and the rain howled especially loud outside, Kushina asked him to remove one of the seals on her wrist. "Just for a moment, Naruto. I want to touch you without these iron shackles." Naruto knew it was a violation of orders, but he no longer belonged to the Akatsuki in full. He carefully placed his palm against the Fuin formula, and his chakra, laced with the fox's will, burned the seal away. Kushina's freed hand instantly shot up, cupping the back of Naruto's head. She pulled him so close that their breath became one. "Look at me," she demanded. "Do you see a mother in my eyes? Or do you see a woman who understands your every dark desire?" Naruto froze. Images flashed through his mind. The lonely swing by the academy, the hateful glares of Konoha's villagers, the blood on his hands after Akatsuki missions. And at the center of it all, Kushina, the red thread that bound him in the dark. "I don't know what you are to me," he exhaled, feeling his heart hammer against his ribs. "But I know I won't give you to pain." Kushina laughed, a quiet, triumphant laugh. She pressed her forehead against his. "My little fox, we will burn this world. We will become husband and wife upon the ashes of their ideals. Do you agree?" Instead of an answer, Naruto covered her lips with his own. It was a kiss full of fury, despair, and recognition. At that moment, the seals on the cell doors began to glow red. The Akatsuki alarm had been triggered, but they no longer cared. The cell door flew off its hinges from a powerful blow. Kisame stood on the threshold with Samehada at the ready, while the shadows of Itachi and several elite range shinobi loomed behind him. "Naruto, kid, have you completely lost your mind?" Kasame grinned. "Pain is displeased. Step away from the vessel and maybe they'll only cut off a few limbs as punishment." Naruto rose slowly. His eyes glowed pure gold with a crimson tint, and a four-tailed shroud began to form around his body. But the chakra was strange. It was intertwined with golden chains that began to erupt directly from the floor under Kushina's command. "She is no longer a vessel." Naruto's voice vibrated with power. "She is my wife. And if you want to take her, you'll have to kill me twice." Kushina stood behind him, her hands resting on his shoulders, guiding his rage. She was no longer a haggard prisoner. She was the queen of the whirlpool, returned from the dead. "To battle, my love," she whispered into his ear. Kisame was the first to lunge. Sensing a colossal surge of chakra, his blade, Samehada, let out a literal howl, expanding in size. "Water style? Dance of 1,000 sharks!" the swordsman roared, swinging his arm. Instantly, the corridor filled with a churning torrent, teeming with hundreds of aquatic predators. But Naruto did not even flinch. He merely spread his arms slightly. From behind his back, erupting like living nightmares, came the golden chains of the hidden dragon. Kushina, her eyes closed, guided them with surgical precision. The chains pierced through the water sharks, vaporizing them with a single touch, for they were infused with the boiling chakra of the Ninetales. "My turn," Naruto growled. He vanished in a yellow flash, not like his father's, but a darker one, leaving a scorched trail in its wake. In his hand, a vacuum Rasengan formed, swirled with black flames. The blow landed squarely on the scaled side of Samahada. The sword, capable of absorbing any energy, choked on this mixture of hatred and love, hurling its master tens of meters through concrete partitions. Itachi watched from the shadows, his Mangekyo Sharingan spinning, analyzing every movement. "Naruto, stop!" His voice was cold, yet carried a hint of sincere warning. "You don't understand what you're getting into. This woman, she is leading you to your ruin." "She is leading me home, Itachi!" Naruto shouted, his voice cracking into a beastly roar. "Home, where I won't be treated as a tool." Kushina took a step forward, her long hair fluttering like living fire. She looked at Itachi with icy contempt. "Uchiha, you are always masters of illusion. But what we feel for each other is the only reality in this cursed world." She wove her fingers into a complex seal, one unseen since the founding of the hidden villages. "Uzumaki's secret art, seal of the grand suppression." The walls of the hideout began to contract. Gravity within a 100-meter radius increased tenfold. Itachi was forced to activate Susanoo just to avoid being crushed, yet even the ribs of the spectral warrior began to creak. Seizing the moment, Naruto swept Kushina into his arms. "Let's go," she whispered, pressing herself against his chest. "To the sea, to where our beginning awaits." They ran for 3 days and 3 nights. The Akatsuki pursued them, sending squads of mercenaries and Sasori's puppets. But Naruto and Kushina had become a single organism. They slept in shifts, huddled together in the roots of giant trees, warming each other not just with chakra, but with a growing, searing affection. For Naruto, everything was new. The way she looked at him in the morning, the way she adjusted his collar, the way her laughter dispersed the gloom in his mind. He no longer felt like a monster. Beside her, he felt like a man, a protector, a king. "Why did you choose me?" he asked one evening, as they sat by a fire on the border of the Land of Fire. "You knew who I was. From the very beginning, didn't you?" Kushina looked at the fire, shadows of the past dancing in her eyes. "In that basement, I saw only darkness, Naruto. But when you touched me, I felt a warmth I couldn't give you back then, all those years ago. At first it was guilt. Then, admiration for your strength. And now," she moved closer and sat on his lap, wrapping her arms around his neck. "Now I see the only person worth resurrecting for. I don't care about blood or laws. You are my choice, my husband, my world." Naruto wrapped his arms around her waist, feeling the final barriers within him crumble. Then Konoha and the Akatsuki are just scenery that it's time to burn. They reached the ocean shore, where an eternal storm guarded the ruins of the land of whirlpools. Kushina stood upon a cliff, her voice resonating over the waves. She sang an ancient song of summoning, and the sea, recognizing its mistress, parted to reveal the path to the hidden island. The ruins of Ozushio met them with a majestic silence. Towering spires of a white stone, overgrown with vines, still held the remnants of former glory. Here, we will build our home, Kushina said, turning to Naruto. In the following months, they labored to restore the Great Temple. Naruto used his clones to clear the debris, while Kushina repaired the Fuinjutsu barriers, making the island invisible even to the Rinnegan. The climax. A wedding in crimson tones. They invited no guests. Their only witnesses were the roaring ocean and the ancient spirits of their ancestors. Kushina found a traditional scarlet dress in the temple's treasury, the kind worn by the clan's queens. Naruto donned a black haori with the spiral emblem on its back. In the center of the temple, before the altar of the eternal vortex, they stood facing one another. I, Naruto, take you, Kushina, as my wife. His voice was steady and deep. Your enemies are my enemies. Your pain is my pain. My life belongs to you, from now until the end of time. Kushina smiled, a tear of happiness tracing down her cheek. I, Kushina, take you as my husband. We are two banks of the same river. No power in this world shall drift us apart. They exchanged cups of wine, each containing a drop of their blood. The moment they drank, a powerful pulse of chakra erupted from the temple, scattering the clouds above the island. For the first time in years, the sun rose over Uzushio. 2 years passed. The shinobi world had plunged into chaos. The Akatsuki and the 5 nations were exhausting each other in an endless war. But in the east, amidst the eternal storms, a new power had risen. Naruto sat upon a throne of black stone, his gaze fixed on the horizon. Kushina dozed on his lap, her beauty only flourishing over the years, under her husband's protection. They are coming soon, she said softly without opening her eyes. Konoha has gathered an army. They call our union an abomination. Naruto smirked, his hand resting on the hilt of a sword forged from the Kyuubi's chakra. Let them come. They thought they locked a monster in a cage, but they simply gave me a reason to destroy their world and build ours. He leaned down and kissed her, long, passionately, with the same fury as their first night in Amigakure. They were ready, the last Uzumaki, husband and wife against the entire world. And the world did not yet know that a crimson dawn awaited it. So that's the end of this story. If you liked it, don't be lazy to like it and leave a comment.